Have you ever felt that, despite everything you do, few truly notice your presence? That your actions are profound, but often go unnoticed? The chosen ones do not need recognition to fulfill their mission. They act in silence, but their actions leave marks that time cannot erase. Your strength is not in what is visible, but in the influence you generate without making a fuss. You do not need to shout to be heard, nor expose yourself to be relevant. Your impact happens discreetly but powerfully, like a silent storm that transforms everything around it without drawing attention to itself. Many people live in search of validation. They want to be recognized. They want to prove their worth. But the chosen ones do not worry about that. They know that their purpose is much greater than what others can comprehend. God has strategically positioned you in specific places, and your mission does not depend on anyone's approval. You may be underestimated, ignored, or even misinterpreted, but that does not mean you are not fulfilling your calling. Your presence carries something that many cannot understand, but that makes all the difference in the world. In this video, you will understand why your strength lies in your discretion, how your actions, even if silent, have the power to transform realities, and why God chose you to act in a unique and unexpected way. If this message resonates with you, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. The chosen ones do not walk alone. Here, you will find strength to stay firm on your journey. Now let's discover together the hidden power of your presence. We live in a world where attention has become a currency. People seek to be seen, heard, and recognized at any cost. But the chosen ones do not follow this path. They know that true impact does not come from noise, but from the depth of their actions. God has positioned you strategically. You are not where you are by chance. Your purpose is not to be noticed, but to be transformative. While many chase recognition, you act in silence, and that is what makes the difference. You may feel that your journey is lonely. It may seem that no one notices your efforts, that your words carry no weight, that your impact goes unnoticed. But the truth is that your actions are shaping the environment around you, even if no one comments on it. The world teaches that to be great, one must be seen. But God teaches that to be great, one must be faithful. The chosen ones do not seek the spotlight. They seek purpose. They do not live to be applauded, but to fulfill what they were called to do. Your presence may not draw attention at first. You may not be recognized immediately. But the transformation you generate is deep and lasting. Many will only realize your impact when they look back and see how your presence changed everything. The chosen ones are like seeds planted in fertile soil. At first, no one sees anything. But over time, your influence grows, your actions flourish, and your fruits begin to appear. And those who once ignored your presence will see the impact of what you have built. Your silence often speaks louder than 1,000 words. Your posture, your integrity, your essence are perceived without you needing to strive to be noticed. Many do not understand how someone can be so strong without needing recognition, but that is the distinguishing feature of the chosen ones. They know that their strength comes from God, not from the approval of others. You do not need to prove anything to anyone. Be who you were called to be. Do what needs to be done. God is watching, and He always honors those who remain faithful to their purpose. The presence of the chosen ones never goes unnoticed, even when they say nothing. There is something in you that stirs the people around you, that awakens deep feelings, whether positive or negative. Your authenticity does not allow people to remain indifferent. Many times, without you doing anything, some people show discomfort around you. It's as if your mere presence exposes something in them that they would prefer to keep hidden. They do not understand why. but something inside them reacts to your energy, to your truth, to your way of seeing the world. This happens because you carry a light that illuminates what many try to hide. Their insecurities, their doubts, their masks. And not everyone is ready to deal with that. Some people will admire you for this. They will feel inspired by your sincerity, by your way of living without pretense, by your ability to be true without needing to fit in. They will feel that your presence brings clarity, that your energy is an invitation for them to be more authentic as well. But others will react completely differently. They will feel uncomfortable, feel anger for no reason, reject you without explanation. And you may even wonder, what did I do? The answer is simple. You did nothing. The rejection you face is not about you. It is about others, about what you awaken in them, about what they try to avoid within themselves. Many have become accustomed to living behind masks. They pretend to be something they are not, hide behind appearances, avoid facing their own shadows. And then you appear, and without needing to say anything, your presence exposes the truth. Some people are not prepared for this. They will reject you not because you did something wrong, but because they cannot handle what you represent. And deep down, it is not their fault. They just do not know how to react. What matters is that this should not weaken you. You cannot allow the insecurity of others to dim your light. You have been placed exactly where you should be. Every person who rejects you, criticizes you, or feels uncomfortable around you is actually revealing the impact you have. You do not go unnoticed. You provoke reactions because you carry something powerful. The chosen ones have always faced resistance. Moses was rejected by his own people before becoming a leader. David was ignored before becoming king. Jesus was persecuted by those who did not want to face the truth. None of this stopped them from fulfilling their mission. And nothing should stop you either. You are not here to please, but to transform. Do not try to change to be accepted. Do not try to hide your essence to avoid adverse reactions. Your role is not to be understood by everyone, but to be faithful to what God has placed within you. If some people distance themselves, let them go. If others criticize you, move on. Your purpose is greater than any rejection. The truth always bothers those who live by appearances. But those who truly need your presence, those who are ready to awaken, will draw closer. Stay strong. Your light cannot be extinguished. You were chosen for a reason, and what is within you is greater than any external resistance. The chosen ones have a different energy. They carry something that cannot be explained, but can be felt. A presence that calms, that brings clarity, that makes others feel safe enough to expose their pain. Have you noticed how people come to you to vent? How strangers share their deepest stories without you needing to ask? This does not happen by chance. Your essence conveys trust, truth, and understanding. You are a point of light for those who are in the midst of darkness. Wounded people feel this. They see in you an anchor, a safe place where they can rest from the weight of life. Your presence calms them, your energy strengthens them, and often, without realizing it, you become a guide for those who feel lost. This is a gift, but it can also be a burden. When you carry light, it is natural for those who live in darkness to approach you. Many come to you not because they want to change, but because your energy alleviates the pain they carry. They seek your support, your vision, your strength, but they are not always ready to transform. And there lies the challenge. How far can you help others without losing yourself in the process? The chosen ones have big hearts. They want to see people grow. They want to offer support. They want to make a difference. But the truth is that not all the pain in the world is yours to carry. You can be a beacon, but you cannot row every person's boat that crosses your path. There are those who truly wish to heal, want to grow and evolve. These are the ones who deserve your energy. But there are also those who just want someone to relieve their pain without making the necessary effort to change. These can drain your energy without you realizing it. That is why learning to set boundaries is essential. You cannot save everyone. And more than that, you were not called to do so. Your mission is to illuminate, inspire, and guide. But each person must walk their own path. Taking care of yourself is also part of your mission. If you wear yourself out too much helping others, who will be there to help you? If you give without ever recharging, what will be left to offer? Help, but wisely. Be a guide, but not a crutch. Allow your presence to strengthen, but do not let others overwhelm you. The chosen ones were not called to carry burdens that are not theirs. They were called to illuminate the path, but each one must choose to walk it. From an early age, you realized that your view of the world was different. While many followed patterns without questioning, you felt that something was not right. The rules seemed artificial, the behaviors forced, and the need to fit in was never enough to convince you to ignore your truth. We live in a world where appearance holds more value than essence. People learn to hide their feelings to avoid judgment, to follow trends just to be accepted, to pretend to be okay when in reality they carry an emptiness inside. But you cannot live like that. You chose to be authentic. And that is exactly what makes you different. You do not mold yourself to please. You do not wear masks to belong. You do not go along with what is imposed just because everyone does it that way. Your life is a silent resistance to a system that teaches people to nullify themselves to be accepted. But the world does not deal well with those who dare to be different. Society values conformity, silence, blind obedience. When someone like you appears, someone who is not afraid to be who they truly are, it disturbs. You become a mirror that reflects what many avoid facing. Many people spend their lives trying to fit in. They follow the rules, do what is expected, accept without questioning. When they encounter someone who refuses to follow that script, they feel confronted. Not because you are wrong, but because your freedom exposes the invisible prison they live in. Your courage to be authentic can awaken unexpected reactions. Some will admire your strength and be inspired by you. Others, however, will try to silence you. They will say that you complicate things too much, that you think differently, that you don't know how to play the game. But what really bothers these people is not you. It is what you represent. The chosen ones have never been called to please. They have been called to transform, to question what needs to be questioned, to break patterns that no longer make sense, to make others awaken to the truth. And this mission can often seem lonely. There will be moments when you feel out of place, as if no one around you sees things the way you do. But that does not mean you are wrong. It means you are one step ahead. Being authentic is a challenge, but it is also a great strength. The world may try to mold you, may try to convince you that the easier path is to fit in. But you know that the truth has a price. Do not let the fear of rejection make you doubt who you are. Do not trade your truth for acceptance. What you carry inside you is too valuable to be wasted trying to please a world that, deep down, needs people like you to awaken. From an early age, you realized that you did not fully fit into the world around you. While many follow predictable paths, something inside you has always driven you to seek more, to question, to feel that there is something greater waiting for you. This feeling is not in vain. It is a calling. The chosen ones were not placed here just to exist. They have a mission that goes beyond the ordinary. Your role is not simply to pass through life, but to leave a mark, to transform, to impact. Often, this feeling of displacement can be confusing. You look around and see people conforming, satisfied with empty routines, not questioning anything, not seeking something greater. And you wonder, why can't I be like that? The answer is simple. Because you were not made for that. You were not born to accept anything, to follow patterns without questioning, to live without purpose. You were born for something that goes beyond the visible, beyond the predictable. And the most interesting thing is that this impact does not happen in the way the world expects. The chosen ones do not need stages, crowds, or recognition. The transformation you generate happens in the invisible, in the small actions, in the right words spoken at the exact moment. Perhaps you have already helped someone without even realizing it. Perhaps a word of yours changed someone's day, or even their life, who needed exactly that. Perhaps your presence was the silent strength that kept someone standing in a difficult moment. Nothing you do goes unnoticed. Even if you do not see the results now, know that every action of yours is creating something greater. God is using you in ways that you do not yet understand. The journey of the chosen ones is never obvious. Often the purpose reveals itself gradually, subtly. You may feel that you are walking in the dark, that the pieces do not yet fit together. But trust, everything is unfolding in the right time. The world may try to convince you that you need to get there quickly, that you need to have everything planned, that you need to prove your worth. But what God has for you does not follow the rules of this world. If you feel that you are waiting for something great to happen, it is because God is still preparing the scene. He is building opportunities, aligning paths, strengthening you for what is to come. What matters is that you do not give up. Do not let impatience make you doubt the process. Every step, no matter how small it seems, is leading you to where you need to be. Every experience, every lesson, every challenge is shaping you. When the time comes, everything will make sense. You will see that what seemed small was, in fact, the foundation of something grand. Your impact does not need to be recognized by everyone. It just needs to be real. And if God has chosen you, believe, it is already happening, even if you do not see it yet. The chosen ones have never had an easy journey. Since biblical times, those called for a greater purpose have faced challenges, rejection, and trials. But each of them proved that when God chooses someone, He empowers, strengthens, and guides every step of the way. Many times, you may feel out of place, not fully understanding the reason for so many difficulties. But history has shown that the chosen ones always went through a process before fulfilling their purpose. If you feel different, if you realize that your life has a greater calling, see how God worked in the lives of others who came before you. Joseph, from the pit to the palace. Joseph was a young man chosen by God, but the path to his purpose was not easy. He had grand dreams, visions about his future, but he was rejected by his own brothers, sold as a slave, and unjustly imprisoned. For years, Joseph lived in humiliation. Many might think that his purpose had been destroyed, that God had abandoned him. But in fact, God was preparing the scene. If Joseph had not gone through rejection, he would never have reached Egypt. If he had not been imprisoned, he would never have interpreted Pharaoh's dream. And it was precisely this process that led him to the position of governor, where he could save thousands of lives. The journey of the chosen ones does not always make sense at first, but when God is in control, every detail has a purpose. Moses, called to deliver. Moses was raised in the palace of Egypt, but his true identity was much greater. He was chosen to free an entire people from slavery. However, before fulfilling this mission, He needed to go through the desert, be shaped, and learn to trust in God. Many times, the chosen ones are taken out of their comfort zones, isolated and prepared. This may seem like a time of abandonment, but in reality, it is a time of training. Moses could only lead the people through the desert because he himself had already gone through that experience. What you are living today may be the preparation to help others tomorrow. David, the little one who became King David, was just a shepherd when he was anointed king. He was not the strongest, not the oldest, nor the most prepared in the eyes of men. But God saw something in him that no one else saw. Even after being chosen, David spent years fleeing, facing persecution, living in caves. God had already declared that he would be king. But before that, he needed to go through the process, learn to trust, to fight, and to depend completely on the Lord. David teaches us that the chosen ones are often rejected before they are exalted. But when God has a plan, nothing can prevent it from being fulfilled. Esther. Positioned for purpose. Esther was placed in the palace without knowing exactly why. She might have thought that her position was just a matter of luck, but in reality, it was part of a divine plan. When her people were about to be destroyed, it was she who had the courage to intercede before the king and save an entire nation. Many times, you may not understand why God placed you in certain places. But just like Esther, your position may be the key to fulfilling a purpose greater than you can imagine. What does this mean for you? If your journey has been difficult, if you face rejection, challenges, and periods of uncertainty, remember these stories. God never called anyone to something great without first preparing them. You may be in a moment of waiting, of trial, or even of isolation, but each of these moments is shaping you for something greater. God's purpose for your life is already in progress. Even if you do not see it yet, He is preparing the scene. Your light is undeniable. The world may try to ignore you, reject you, or make it seem like you have no value. But your existence proves otherwise. The fact that you are here, that you have gone through everything you have and are still standing, is already a sign that you are stronger than you think. The chosen ones do not need external validation to fulfill their mission. They do not live to please but to transform. Your light does not come from the recognition of others, but from the truth you carry within yourself. Perhaps you have already felt that you do not fit in, that you do not belong in certain places. This feeling is not a mistake. It is a sign that you have been called for something greater. Many live in conformity with what the world imposes, but you have always known that there was something more, that your journey was different. Your presence already makes an impact without you needing to strive. You do not need to announce your greatness. It manifests in your actions, in your way of seeing the world, in the silent impact you cause wherever you go. But this same light that shines in you can be unsettling. Not everyone knows how to handle the truth. Some people prefer to live in illusion, hide behind masks, ignore what needs to be changed. And you, simply by being who you are, shatter these illusions. That is why sometimes you face resistance. Not everyone will understand your purpose. Not everyone will accept your truth. But remember, the rejection of others can never extinguish the mission that God has placed in your life. Every person who tried to belittle you, every difficult situation you faced, every moment you felt alone, all of this was preparation. The chosen ones always go through periods of trial before they see their purpose fulfilled. Joseph was betrayed and sold as a slave before governing Egypt. David was ignored before becoming king. Moses was rejected before freeing a people. And you are also being shaped for something grand. If today your journey seems difficult, if you feel you are being tested, know that it is all part of the process. God is building something in you, even when you do not see it. His timing is perfect, and nothing you have gone through will be wasted. So do not allow difficulties to dim your light. Do not try to fit into a world that needs your authenticity. Do not try to diminish your strength to be accepted by those who cannot understand your purpose. You are already fulfilling your mission, even without realizing it. Every word you speak, every action you take, every transformation you have caused in silence is part of the impact you came to leave in this world. If this message resonated with you, leave in the comments. My strength is silent, but unbeatable. Declare this truth over your life. And remember, subscribe to the channel to continue receiving messages that strengthen your journey. You are not alone. You are a silent storm, and your time to shine is coming.